Hi, welcome to the radiography information session. If you are planning on applying to Wake Tech's radiography program, we want to let you know about the program-specific admission requirements, along with a program-specific application that are required for the program. This means that this program has admission requirements that are above and beyond applying to Wake Tech. So welcome to Wake Tech. Now we're going to try to cover all the requirements for applying to the radiography program. So our radiography program does prepare you to be able to take your national exam. So that's the ARRT, the American Registry of Radiologic Technologists National Exam. After the program, then you're eligible to take that exam, and then you're going to be able to be a radiographer. Our program does have limited enrollment because we can only have so many students in the program for our faculty to student ratio, and also for the limited number of clinical sites we have in the community that we can send our students to for training. And so we use what's called a competitive process. It's not a points, it's a point system. It's not a waiting list. So that is what's going to determine who can register for the radiography program. And what do I mean by competitive? What that means is we are going to use a point system. We're then going to put students in order of how many points they have, and only the top students are going to be accepted into the program. So we can't guarantee acceptance to everyone who applies. So we do recommend that you have a parallel plan or a backup plan, whichever one you want to call it, so that if you are not accepted to the program, you can still continue and graduate from another one of the programs that Wake Tech has to offer. So how do we determine points? How do you earn points? This is an example of a program planning guide. So let's just note right now that the program planning guide could change. The radiography classes could change, but this is the one that was in place for the fall 2023. In the program planning guide, you see general education courses. You see a lot of RAD courses. RAD courses are the program specific courses. The general education courses are what's left. There's 6 of them. There's your Biology 163, which is your Anatomy and Physiology course, your English 111, Writing and Inquiry. Keep going down, you've got Math 110, Mathematical Measurement and Literacy, English 112, Writing and Research, Psychology 150, General Psychology, and then Humanities 115, Critical Thinking. So there are 6 general education courses that are part of the radiography program. We award points based on the grades you make in those classes. An A is worth 12 points, a B is worth 10, a C is worth 8. We only award points for those 6 classes. English 112, which is your second English, we will also accept English 113 or English 114. So either one will meet that requirement. For your Humanities 115, that's really a humanities fine arts elective, and we will accept any 3 credit hour class that is considered by Wake Tech as a humanities or fine arts course. That can be any of our art, music, drama, philosophy, religion, or humanities, as long as it's 3 credit hours. Math 110 is a college level math course, and we will accept any college level math course as long as it is 3 credit hours or more. And that class has to have been completed within 10 years of your first radiography class. So the math has a time window that we will accept. If your math is more than 10 years old, you will have to repeat it. So the math class within the past 10 years. And then finally, you have your Biology 163 course. That's your Anatomy and Physiology. We will accept Biology 168 and 169, those 2 together. That's your ANP1 and ANP2. So if you've completed both of those together, or sometimes people will come in with Biology 165 and 166. Again, you have to have the series, And if you have both of those, we will accept that in place of the Biology 163. There is a time window on the biology. It is only 5 years. So the Biology 163 has to have been completed within the past 5 years of the first radiography class. So this is how you earn your points. It's based on the grades that you have earned from those 6 general education courses that are part of the radiography program. We do accept transfer credits. So if you've completed these classes at another college, you need to submit your official transcripts to Wake Tech. Advisors do not award transfer credits. That is the registrar's office. The registrar evaluates transcripts only after you have been accepted to Wake Tech. So once you've been accepted to Wake Tech, your transcripts will be evaluated as long as they are official transcripts. If after about 3 to 4 weeks you are not seeing your credits populate into self-service, then you can email. The email is highlighted right there, TRAN eval REQ. So that's short for transcript evaluation request at waketech.edu. So please make sure if you have transcripts and you're supposed to have transfer credit, that you make sure that it is showing up. Now, one thing to watch out for, Wake Tech, the registrar's office, is only going to evaluate the classes. They're not going to evaluate the time windows. So if you're showing transfer credit for anatomy and physiology or the math, so you've got credit for biology 163 or a math class, if they're outside of the window, 5 years for biology, 10 years for math, then the radiography department will not accept those classes. You're going to have to repeat them. So just be wary of that time frame. Now, there are other ways to earn points. One way to earn points, you will receive 2 points if you have applied for the radiography program before. That means you've submitted the program application. You weren't accepted, so you reapply. So you're going to get 2 points for reapplying, and you only get this once. If you have already completed an allied health degree, an associate of applied science or higher, this program must have a clinical aspect to it. It has to have direct patient care. Make sure that we have those transcripts, and if you have completed that, that will be worth 2 points. You also can earn points with the TEAS test. Now, the TEAS test is mandatory for everybody to take, but based on your scores, you will receive points. So what is the TEAS test? The TEAS test is proctored by ATI. It's the test of essential academic skills. There are 4 sections. There's reading, math, science, and English and language. So we recommend that you take this test after you've completed your anatomy and physiology and after you've completed your English and math course, because the test is expensive and we don't want you to have to keep retaking it. So hopefully you're just take it once and get great scores. We will accept TEAS 5 or higher, just as long as it is the ATI TEAS test, and you have to have it within 3 years of the program application deadline. The scores have to come directly to us from ATI, and we do have a retest policy. You are welcome to test twice every calendar year. The test dates do have to be 30 days apart. And realize that ATI, when your scores are sent to us, they will tell us the date. So if your scores do not meet that date, that retest policy, then we will not be able to accept them. And you can see you can earn anywhere from 3 points up to 20 points based on your composite score. We also super score. So what does super scoring mean? So as an example here, this student has taken the TEAS test 5 times, and each section has its own score. And as long as each of these tests meet our testing policy, we will look at the highest score for each one. We will then average those, and then that will give us your composite score, and we will base the points off of that. So how competitive is RAD? Our radiography program, here's some examples for the past couple years. You can see we've ranged in applications. 2022, we had 37 applications all the way up to 2023 with 62. So the application pool does vary based on what's going on in the community. Points, you can see pretty much 65 was our lowest that we accept, was the minimum score. We've been as high as 91. And you can see our number of students that the radiography program has accepted varies. It will vary on clinical sites and how many spots we have available for that upcoming year. We have 4 groups of radiography students going at a time. The program does start both in the fall, which is August, and spring, which is January. And we can have a total of 80 students in the entire 4 classes. So when new students are accepted, those numbers can vary based on how many other students are continuing. So just as a reminder, when you're looking at your points from your grades, if you have straight A's, you have 72 points. If you have straight B's, you have 60. Straight C's, it is 48. You can also have those additional points, and you have points for the T's test. So normally we really do recommend that you have about a 3.5 GPA, along with doing well on the T's. So you want to have that combination to be competitive for our radiography program. How can you make sure you're competitive? We can't stress this enough. Don't take too many classes in one semester. You want to take as many as you can, and you can still make A's or B's in. You can retake classes. We will award points based on the highest grades, but we would like it if students could take the class just once and do well in it. Make sure that you are motivated, you are disciplined, you want to plan your schedule, you want to make a weekly to-do list, you need to prioritize your schooling, and be honest with yourself, right? Look at how much time you are using up with games, videos, TikTok, whatever. If you do have any difficulties with managing your time or planning your schedule, we do have a student success counselor who can assist you with that. You can always ask an advisor who that is or look on your care team to see who that is. So you're going to take your classes, you're going to take the TEAS test. So how do you apply for radiography? There is, again, remember that program-specific application. That program-specific application is found online. So if you're under the radiography program page, under admissions, there will be a link to the application. So there's a few things you have to do before you can submit that application. You first have to demonstrate a reading and English proficiency. And everyone meets that by completing English 111. There are other ways you can meet it, but primarily people have completed English 111. You have to demonstrate a certain level of math. And that again is within 10 years of the first radiography class. And again, because you have a math class in your program, most students are going to meet this math proficiency by just completing the Math 110 or a higher level math. You also have to demonstrate a certain level of science. And again, most of you will have Biology 163 completed, and so you will meet that proficiency by having Biology 163 completed. If you don't, then you would meet the science by either having a high school level chemistry or maybe a general biology course. You also have to have the TEAS test completed. So the classes and the TEAS test we covered earlier. The new one is you have to be a nurse aide. So you have to be a nurse aide to be able to submit your program application. So what's nurse aide? Nurse Aid 1 is a training program, and it can vary in length. Some might take 3 to 4 weeks to complete, others might take 10 weeks. The length of the program really depends on how it's being taught. If it's an evening or weekend class, it might take longer. If it's meeting every day of the week, then it's going to be shorter. Nurse Aid 1 training programs in North Carolina are going to consist of at least 75 hours of training. You're going to have at least 16 hours of hands-on clinical training in a healthcare facility. Wake Tech does offer nurse aid classes. You can locate them in our Workforce Continuing Education division. It's not covered by financial aid, so you're welcome to apply for that. If Wake Tech does not have a class that fits your time frame, you can go to any state-approved training program. There is no requirement as to where you complete the nurse aid training. The North Carolina Nurse Aid Registry webpage has a list of all state-approved training programs. Just pick the one that works best for you. To be able to submit the radiography program application, you must complete the training and you must pass the 2 state exams. There's a computerized one and a skills one. Once you have completed those, you will be listed on the North Carolina Nurse Aid Registry. And you must be listed on the registry by the application deadline, and it must stay current through the first day of your RAD classes. So when you submit your program application, you are also going to submit a copy of your North Carolina Nurse Aid Registry listing. If your credential expires between the program application deadline and the first day of radiography, you have to renew it. If you don't, and you have been accepted, your acceptance will be rescinded if you do not renew that nurse aid verification. How do you get that verification? Well, if you Google North Carolina Nurse Aid Registry, you should come to this website. You can see this was the web page. It may change. I usually just Google North Carolina Nurse Aid Verification. You're going to enter down here at the bottom in the red box, you're going to enter the last 4 of your social. You're going to enter your first name and your last name. And then what will come up is your verification. You're going to print this to your computer as a PDF. And then you're going to submit this page with your program application. We do have a few exceptions for the nurse aid. If you are a nurse aid 2, or you are an LPN, we will accept that in place of the nurse aid 1. You're just going to need to go to the North Carolina Board of Nursing, print your credential listing, and submit that with your program application. We will also accept a certified medical assistant verification as long as you have worked for 6 months. So you will, with your program application, submit a copy of your CMA along with a letter from your employer stating that you have been working for the past 6 months, and it needs to be on your employer letterhead. And again, all credentials, verifications need to be current at the program application deadline, and it must stay current through the first day of your RAD classes. So you're ready to be ranked. You want to be considered for the radiography program. So you can submit that program-specific application once you've met that reading and writing proficiency, which again is probably completion of English 111. You've got your math proficiency within the past 10 years, which will probably be math 110 or higher. You have met your science proficiency, which will probably be completion of biology 163. You're going to take the TEAS test, and you will have ATI submit those official scores to us. And you're going to be a nurse aide or one of the waivers, and you submit that verification with your program application. Now, the application dates, we do have a window. So if you're planning to apply to the fall radiography program, that means starting in August, then the window will be open from October 1st through January 31st. For the spring radiography entry, that's beginning in January, Then the application window opens April 1st and it will close July 31st. Now, points are not awarded for classes completed after the application deadline. We can only include classes and grades for, that classes have completed prior to the application deadline. All students will receive an email notification letting them know if they've been accepted, not accepted, or you are an alternate. So make sure that you check your Wake Tech email for that notification. So your next steps now. So hopefully the information session has covered all the additional steps to getting accepted into radiography. If you've completed all your classes and you're ready to submit that radiography program application, that's online as long as it's during that application window. So go to the radiography program page. Under admissions, you'll find the program application. You want to download it to your computer, you want to fill it out, and you want to save it. You're then going to submit that to us at hsadvising@waketech.edu. And you're going to submit that with your nurse aid verification or the nurse aid 2, LPN, CMA, whichever verification fits your situation. All right, so submit all that by that application deadline and make sure that we have your official T-scores from ATI. If you're not ready to apply, and you're ready to register for some of those general education courses, make sure you've been accepted to Wake Tech. Make sure your official transcripts are here if you want any transfer credit. You want to activate your student account, complete the new student orientation. You want to log into Blackboard and complete the e-learning intro if you're planning to register for any virtual classes. You want to apply for financial aid if needed, and you want to schedule an appointment with a health sciences academic advisor. So how do you schedule a virtual appointment with us? Well, if you go to hsadmissions.waketech.edu, you're going to come up with a, web page. It gives you a few choices. One of the boxes will say Health Sciences Advising. It will bring you to this page that I have a picture of, and I have it highlighted that says Schedule a Virtual Advising Appointment. And so you can schedule that. You are also welcome to walk in, as you can see, on campus from 8 to 5, Monday through Friday. We are located at the Perry Health Sciences campus. But for the virtual advising, again, we're open Monday through Friday. Make sure you pick the right appointment. So if you pick a virtual quick question, that's only 10 minutes. So that is not a good time if you want to review your classes or you want advising. If you know that you want to speak to an advisor for 20 minutes or 30 minutes, make sure you pick your virtual, an advising appointment. If you're a new student, pick the virtual advising first time / new student. Or if you're a current student, then just pick virtual advising current student. All right. There are 5 different health science advisors that you can schedule an appointment with. Just make sure you pick the right one. At least it gives you enough time to talk with us. Now, a few things to consider before applying to our health programs. All of our health programs, since you are going into hospitals and you are going to be around patients, our hospitals require you to have the following items: physical exams, immunization records, criminal background checks, drug testing, CPR card. All of that will need to be completed if you are accepted into the program. You also have to have health insurance. Again, that's only if you're accepted into the program. If you've got questions about any of this, you can reach out to our clinical compliance administrator. If you've got concerns about a criminal background check, you may have to have that run. She will give you some information about that, but this will have to be completed for you to be able to go to our affiliates. They are the ones, the hospitals are the ones that make those decisions. And also things to consider before radiography, just to let you know, you will be in contact with patients. You will have to talk with them, get them oriented, get them in position. You may see blood. You may see other bodily fluids. You may be placing things in places what you never really thought about, sort of like a barium enema. And you're also, radiography is physically demanding. You're going to have to push and move stretchers and wheelchairs. You may have to push and move patients around if they can't do it on their own. You might have to lift or carry radiographic table components. So lots of physical demand in this program. So we like to, things to consider for yourself. Other also is a time commitment. So I listed here at the bottom, you've got 3 different RAD courses. These are all 3 of the RAD courses that are in the first semester. So you have class time, you have lab time, and you have clinic time. So for that first semester, you are in class, lab, and clinic 17 hours a week. Research shows that to be successful in classes, it could be on average 2 to 3 hours per hour that you're in class and lab. So if you look at the 17 hours, you kind of consider 2 hours a week, then you're also looking at about 34 hours of studying. So it's a big time commitment for the radiography program. A lot of students are not working full time. They might be working evenings or weekends. So when you're thinking of a health science program and you're thinking about radiography, these are just some things to consider to see if this program is going to fit in with your personal situation, or when it will fit in, right? It might be a few years from now, but just some things to consider. So hopefully we've answered your questions about how you apply to radiography, the additional program-specific requirements. If you do have any questions, please email us at hsadvising@waketech.edu. And if you want to speak to one of us about your personal situation, you're welcome to make an appointment at that hsadmissions.waketech.edu. I appreciate your time and consideration for the information session. Have a great day.